to our Tuesday New Books. Today we've got some more fiction, nonfiction, and some CD books for you to look at and we'll talk to you about. Starting with the fiction. The first one, The Paradox Hotel by Rob Hart. An impossible crime, a detective on the edge of madness, the future of time travel at stake. Paradox Hotel. Next one, When I'm Gone, Look for Me in the East. A luminous novel that moves across windswept Mongolia as estranged twin brothers make a journey of duty, conflict, and renewed understanding. When I'm Gone, Look for Me in the East. Next one, Brian Freeman, The Ursulina. The mythical beast goes by many names: Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti. In Black Wolf County, he's called the Ursulina. But to Deputy Rebecca Calder, the beast is no myth. A serial killer has taken on the identity of the monster, and with each body left behind, there's a chilling message written in blood: I am the Ursulina. Next one, The Swimmers by Julie Atsuko. A blistering tour de force about a group of obsessed recreational swimmers and what happens to them when a crack appears at the bottom of their local pool. The Swimmers. Next one is new short story by Toni Morrison, Recitative. A beautiful, arresting short story by Toni Morrison, the only one she has ever wrote, about race and the relationships that shape us through life, with an introduction by Zadie Smith. Circus of Wonders, Elizabeth McNeil. An addictive novel about power, fame, and a love that is threatened by a terrible secret. Step up, in 1860s England, circus mania is sweeping the nation. Crowds jostle for a glimpse of the lion tamers, the dazzling trapeze artists, and most thrilling of all, the so-called human wonders. Circus of Wonders. Fake, a novel by Erica Katz. A high-stakes world of art forgery that moves from the trendy art galleries of Manhattan to the high-flying international art fairs of Hong Kong. Can you spot the difference? Next one, The Matchmaker, A Spy in Berlin by Paul Vittich. Evoking the worlds of Graham Greene and John le Carre, The Matchmaker delivers a chilling Cold War spy story set in West Berlin in 1989. Next one, Black Cloud Rising, David Wright Fallade. By the fall of 1863, Union forces have taken control of Tidewater, Virginia, and established a toehold in eastern North Carolina, including along the Outer Banks. In December, the newly formed African Brigade, a unit of the former slaves led by General Edward Augustus Wilde, a one-armed, impassioned abolitionist, set out from Portsmouth to hunt down the rebel guerrillas and extinguish the threat. Black Cloud Rising. The Harbor by Katrine Enberg. He never came home from school the previous afternoon, and his family is frantic. The police assume he's a runaway, a typically overlooked middle child from a wealthy, prominent family, doing what teenagers do all over the world. The Harbor. Another mystery, A Fine Madness, a Christopher Marlowe murder mystery by Alan Judd. A captivating novel that explores the life of theatrical genius and spy Christopher Marlowe, whose murder remains one of the most fascinating mysteries of the Elizabethan age. A Fine Madness. Next one is a Western, Brett Coburn, Too Proud to Run, a Morgan Clyde Western, Book 4. Brett Coburn is the great-grandson of Robert Coburn. U.S. Deputy Marshal Morgan Clyde has worn a tin star long enough to leave a .45 caliber mark on the Indian Territory, but the years and miles are wearing on him. For every enemy he's laid low, he's made more in the process, which isn't a good thing when the territory running wilder than ever and the hanging judge in Fort Smith determined to bring it to a heel. Too proud to run.
Okay. And in nonfiction to start off with, we have The Dark Queens by Shelley Puhack, the bloody rivalry that forged the medieval world. This is a look at the history between Brunhild and her sister-in-law Fredegund, and their efforts to rule in medieval times when a woman in power was very rare. Then we have Otherlands by Thomas Halliday. It's a journey through Earth's extinct worlds. We've got this book called SEC Football's Greatest Games, The Legendary Players, Last Minute Prayers, and Championship Moments by Alex Martin Smith.
That should be popular.
I would imagine so. The next one we have is Index, A History of a bookish adventure from medieval manuscripts to the digital age. That's by Dennis Duncan. This one looks like a lot of fun. It's called Funny Farm, My Unexpected Life with 600 Rescue Animals. It's by Lori Zaleski. The Other Dr. Gilmer, Two Men, a Murder, and an Unlikely Fight for Justice by Benjamin Gilmer. True crime book. Then we have River Kings, A New History of the Vikings from Scandinavia to the Silk Roads by Kat Yarman. If you're into food or cooking, we've got this book called Eating to Extinction, The World's Rarest Foods and Why We Need to Save Them. And that's by Dan Saladino. This book is called Life Between the Tides. It's by Adam Nicholson. He basically goes through and investigates one of the most revelatory habitats on Earth. Under his microscope, we see a prawn's head become a medieval helmet and a group of winkles transform into Dickensian social scene with mollusks munching on Stilton and glancing at their pocket watches. So I think it's got a lot of different photographs and some illustrations.
That's pretty cool.
So if you're interested in local marine life,
yeah.
Check it out. All right, this book, it's called 9 Nasty Words, English in the Gutter, Then, Now, and Forever by John McWhorter. So it's a look at linguistics and maybe some words that, we all know and try not to say.
Yeah.
Then we have What My Bones Know. It's a memoir of healing from complex trauma. And that's from Stephanie Fu.
And then we have a few audiobooks. The first one, Abandoned in Death by J.D. Robb. Homicide detective Eve Dallas must untangle the twisted family history with hostages' life hangs in the balance in the new Death in Death novel with J.D. Robb. Next one, the newest one by Isabel Allende, Violetta. Violetta comes into the world on a stormy day in 1920, the first girl in a family with 5 boisterous sons. From the start, her life is marked by extraordinary events, where the ripples of the Great War are still being felt, even as the Spanish flu arrives on the shores of her South American homeland. Violetta. Next one, latest by Stephen King and Richard Chismer, Gwendy's Final Task. When Gwendy Peterson was 12, an enigmatic stranger named Richard Ferris gave her a mysterious box for safekeeping. It offers treats and vintage coins, but it was dangerous. Pushing any of its 7 colored buttons promised death and destruction. Gwendy's Final Task.
All right, and we've also got a couple from the nonfiction section. This is When a Killer Calls. It's from the case files of the FBI's original Mindhunter, John Douglas and Mark Olshaker. It's a haunting story of murder, criminal profiling, and justice in a small town. Looks at a crime from 1985 when 2 days before her high school graduation, Sherry Smith was abducted from her family home in South Carolina. And then we have The Last Slave Ship The True Story of How Clotilda Was Found, Her Descendants, and an Extraordinary Reckoning by Ben Raines. It's the incredible true story of the last ship to carry enslaved people to America, the remarkable town its survivors founded after emancipation, and the complicated legacy their descendants carry with them to this day, and it's all by the journalist who discovered the ship's remains.
Awesome. That's all books and CDs for today. Join us again next week and come by the library and check everything out.
Bye.
Bye.